Hello, I'm Gail Ellis and welcome to PEPELT, Picture Books in European Primary English Language Teaching, and to our December theme of love and care. And our picture book of the month is Granpa Green by Lane Smith. I'm going to be talking about multiliteracies. First of all, film literacy. Granpa Green is accompanied by a 53-second film trailer, which I would use as a point of entry for the picture book, and I would use it to introduce the characters and the relationship between the characters, the grandpa and the great-grandson, to get children to predict the location and the season, the time of the year that the story is taking place, and to introduce the whole area of topiary art. At around 18 seconds, I would pause the trailer as we see a kind of rectangular shape, and I'd ask the children to predict what they think Granpa Green is going to sculpt. I would play the trailer a little bit more, pause again for them to check their predictions, where we can see that in fact Granpa Green is sculpting an elephant. And I'd ask the children to tell me what they think is the significance of an elephant, and that an elephant never forgets, and use this as a way to introduce the themes of the story, which is about memories, about remembering, about forgetting, and about aging. I would ask the children to tell me how people remember important events in their lives, for example, visually, as we have in the story, through topiary art, through photos and photo albums, through paintings, through pictures. And as my mother used to do, she used to make patchwork quilts, and each piece of cloth in the quilt told a different story at about some point in one of our family members' lives. I would ask the children also which other ways, in addition to visually, it might be text, such as an autobiography or a diary, or it might be a combination of visual and audio, such as a film. Now, Granpa Green, the story of Granpa Green develops emotional literacy. The great-grandson narrates this intergenerational story with great love and care as he goes through the garden, collecting the garden tools that Granpa Green has left behind him. The story begins, he was born a really long time ago, before computers or mobile phones or televisions. Now, this is probably quite difficult for young children to understand or believe these days in our digital era. So it's an ideal opportunity to discuss the past and the present. Granpa Green and nature literacy. I would ask the children to look at the illustrations in the picture book and to identify different types of trees. Topiary art requires evergreen trees, but there are illustrations of other trees, such as deciduous trees, where the leaves fall off. And we have a very beautiful double spread here of the seasons of a tree, where we see the leaves in the spring, we go through to the summer, to the autumn, and to the winter, where there are no leaves left, and where we can discuss the time passing. It's a symbol of time passing, a symbol of aging. We can also discuss this illustration here, where the child, the grandson, is blowing the seeds of a dandelion. I think we can all probably remember doing that ourselves as children and chanting 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock to see how long the seeds stay in the air. But for me, this is a symbol also of time passing, but also a symbol of regeneration. And finally, visual literacy. We move to the final illustration in the book, which is very powerful. Granpa Green has passed down the art of topiary through the generations, and we see the great-grandson who is now creating his own topiary sculpture, which is a sculpture of Grandpa Green. There are no words, so we can ask the children to interpret the illustration. What do they think it represents? Where's Grandpa Green? Again, for me, another symbol of regeneration, as topiary art is a form of living sculpture, and the memory of Grandpa Green lives on through this sculpture created by his grandson. And finally, you may like to ask children to create their own kindness calendar for the month of December. So Grandpa Green, a powerful picture book for the theme of love and care. And that's it. Season's greetings to you all from me, and I look forward to seeing you in January 2019.